Uh, Thanks, Harald, for having us here. Actually, Harald and I, we had a very funny history. Last year at the MLOVE festival here at the Tanzenden Türmen, we sat next to each other at the toilet, right? Oh, hey, Oliver, how are you? Hey, Harald, how are you? Right? So that was quite funny. And he said, oh, next year you have to come. We are doing something very big. So that's why we're here. So thank you very much for this. Actually, I want to have one question to you guys here. How did you get to Barkenhafen this morning? You probably got by public transport here. You get to the university station here, and then you had to walk. Or maybe you came by Stadtrat, the next station is a couple of 100 meters away from here. Or maybe you took the car to go, drive now, but unfortunately you can't park here because it's not the inside the area where you can return the car. So there's obviously a problem of the last mile, and that's what I want to share with you today. Our vision of the future of smart mobility. We call this urban mobility recharged. So Floatility is a company we set up here in Hamburg and also in Singapore. And our aim is actually to build the easiest and most convenient short-distance urban mobility solution. The short-distance mobility bring you easily from A to B. But let you get back in time a little bit to the last century. What you see over here is a city map of Paris around the 1800s. You see a city center where the life of people actually was directly in the city. So the hardworking people lived at the worked outside the city center. In the city, there was a lot of activity: groceries, shopping, work as well, but also leisure. So people actually spent time on the road, really enjoying life in a city. The city itself was actually planned for people at that point of time. Interesting enough, people, how they moved around was actually a very short distance. Maybe a mile, maybe 2 miles. Around 20 minutes walk for people to do. Everything in short distance, a last mile. The vehicles at that point of time in 1865 was actually that vehicle that was invented in Germany, 1865. But of course, it was only with one human power. We didn't have more. Then, some 25 years later, the first car was invented. This was here, it's actually the first Daimler car. And that actually revolutionized the cities as well, because suddenly distances have not been a problem anymore. We could easily travel long distance without any problem. So what does it mean actually for the city? The city was now planned for cars, not for people anymore. So that means the factories have been outside the fringes. People went longer distance to go. Shopping centers have been concentrated somewhere outside, so people really used the car to go from A to B, long distance, every day. And of course, Germany as a car maker's paradise, we love to travel as well. We love to drive, and we drive, and we drive, and we drive literally everywhere, so we really want to drive. Driving. But, well, if you see this picture here, this is now a picture from Thailand, from Bangkok. This is now the problem of transportation systems. So with population now, larger than 50% living already in cities, the transportation system as we see it today literally fails. You see cars, taxis, buses, trucks, everything in a very condensed area, but no transportation anymore. Why is this such a big problem to cities right now? If you see now from a metropolitan point of view, just the 30 largest metropolitan cities of the world, the mega cities, they have an economical loss due to transportation inefficiencies of $262 billion US. That number alone is just a freaking number. If you really think, what do we do due to a mismanagement of transportation to the economy? How much better can we really do? You see here pictures now from buses and public transport systems like taxis in India and China, but we have actually very similar stuff all around the world. So all the big metropolitan areas, they literally have a huge problem of transportation. So transportation needs to get much smarter and much better. Obviously, transport inefficiency is one, pollution is the other. So this is a picture taken from Beijing in China, where pollution is a major threat to people nowadays. So in winter times, when the heaters are getting up, the power plants are getting up, pollution is a massive, massive problem to people. And it makes the city literally very unattractive. And this is what we can see now all around the world. We can see this in Asia, where I lived the last 9 years. We see this here in Europe, but we also see this in North America and South America. So literally it's a global problem for cities that more people are moving in, and transportation is literally inefficient. Or it can be better. But what does it mean now for Hamburg? I mean, look, still a car-friendly city, transportation is not a huge issue, but actually it is a problem. So this number alone was for me very, very astonishing. Around 85,000 trips for commuters every day in the city center of Hamburg are traveling less than 3 kilometers. You would say, wow, less than 3 kilometers, so how mad are we that we really go such a short distance? Then you don't have car park space, you have a lot of cost for transportation actually. For what, right? So you can go a much faster and much better way and more efficient. So literally, we are a little bit mad to still follow inside the city center of Hamburg the same philosophy. Everybody needs a car to go around from A to B. And that's actually what many cities have understood. We need better ways of transportation. In smart cities around the world, they understand this now. This is a picture taken from New York City. This is the Times Square. So the city planners starting now to say, look, why do we give space in a predominant area, main area inside the city center to cars? We better give it back to people. People to enjoy the city life. So Times Square is not quite a high property value actually to go there. Second example we have here, this is from Korea, from Seoul. This was a former highway that goes downtown through the city of Seoul. This area now has been redeveloped, refurbished the former river, and now suddenly people are getting back to the road again, enjoying life inside the city. But now let me get you back to our Floatility balcony. If we take a view from a top to a city, how does it really look like? Actually, most what people, and you ask yourself, really need in their daily lives is within a short distance. We call those short distances compact urban cells, where you really do most of your activities in the daily life. Interesting enough, this is exactly the same how it was 1865, right? 1 mile, 20 minutes distance. Of course, if you go from one cell to the other, you use public transport, or you use Uber, you use Car2Go, whatsoever. But within a city, within a compact urban cell, you definitely need to travel somewhere differently. And then we can see what most important for people is convenience. So time matters, of course, a lot, and it needs to be very convenient and safe. So what we see right now internationally, there are three major trends. Everything goes more electric. Harald's car is the best example here now. He goes now in with an electric Audi coming in, very, very nice. We also see mobility on demand, very important, because whenever people need transportation to get to Barkenhafen in the morning, right, I want to choose between different modes of transportation. But also, it's a sharing economy model. That's what we see more and more. So, and that's actually exactly where we said, look, if sharing economy is so important, how can we develop products and solutions to this? What does it mean now we have to go back to 1865 to really cycle with a nice little bicycle? Probably not. So our partner company, BASF, did a very nice study a year ago, 2 years ago actually, where they say, if our fathers of 1865 would have the materials of today, how would a bicycle look like? And this actually came out of it. But now ask yourself, is that really convenient? Can you use this bicycle actually to go every day to work? Might be funny actually, but maybe it's not so convenient, right? So, and then actually that's where we got to know each other from BASF at that time. This was a postcard I got from the Asian office just 1.5 years ago, where they say, look, this is a bicycle, maybe it's a little bit difficult for you to see, maybe I can pass it around here. Can you take this and pass it around? That say, look, what can we do to make this thing, which is a very advanced technology product, into a commuter product for the daily lives? So we started actually to bring the same technology from the concept bike of 1865 to a new type of vehicle, which you see over here. And of course, our intention was to make people's life easier, how to avoid to use your car, how to stand on it to go from A to B very quickly and easily, still very safely. So and that's why we call this product an e-floater. We are floating around the city, and we wanted to build the lightest last mile electric network vehicle. That means a vehicle that is communicating in real time to a server backend. We can really see where do people go, where do people need mobility in the future. As mentioned before, it's made not with standard metal as we're using ultra lightweight composite technologies, very advanced technology which is used in the automotive industry but also in the aeroplane industry. This product actually, which you see over here, we launched this just 3 weeks ago at the world's largest plastic exhibition in China, in Guangzhou, together with BSF at the Design X Innovation. That was quite nice. I hoped actually to bring the concept bike here to Hamburg as well, but unfortunately it's still stuck in customs in China, so we couldn't get it out early in time. Yeah, but what does it mean now for us? So we have now a nicely designed product. It works pretty well. This is now here the 6th prototype. We are now in pre-series production on this. But still, a product itself is nice, but business behind this is even more important. Because at the end of the day, we have to pay our bills as well, and we have to make it a viable business. It's not only about design. So if you look into the business model of Floatility, actually we based our entire business model on 2 major trends. Sharing economy, I said already, and then we looked into what are the most successful schemes right now in the sharing economy for last mile applications. One, you see, this is a bicycle sharing scheme in London from Barclays. Short distance vehicles, similar like we have them here in Hamburg with Stadtrat. Or the one below is from Daimler, actually Car2Go, very successful too. The difference between both is, the upper one is a stationary approach, the lower one is a free-floating approach. And that actually was a little bit of a disruptive approach, because suddenly you don't need to go somewhere to pick up a vehicle. The vehicle parks in front of your gate wherever you need it, or you drop it wherever you want it. So that's quite attractive for people, because the inconvenience factor is obviously very important. If you overcome the inconvenience, that's the way to go. So literally we put both together and develop our own business model around this. The idea is exactly the same like Car2Go does. We need a vehicle that is in free-floating mode. You can pick it up, for example, at a bicycle rack, street pole, maybe even at a fence, and you can easily connect it with other modes of transportation because it's super small and super light. You can fold it together. Then you can bring it easily on the train, for example, in the morning, or on a taxi. Interesting enough, bicycles are not allowed during rush hour in the morning to bring on the train. This vehicle, obviously, you can bring. The entire system is a networked platform, as I say, so it comes together with a software platform that manages the entire network. This picture, which you see over here, is a picture taken in Singapore, where we're doing our first pilot project now. This is a very typical situation in a city environment. On the far end, you see an MRT station, a public transport station, and close before you have something like a docking hub where people just put the floaters inside. But of course, for us, it's not don't talk. I really like the presentation this morning because people do now. There's a lot of talk. We don't want to talk anymore. We want to do. We want to really make this happen, and we want to make this happen here in Hamburg too. So we are now doing a first pilot project in Singapore, which you see on the left-hand side. University project, around 100 vehicles, and we do exactly the same here inside the Hamburg harbor city. The difference is in both, of course, Singapore, as you might know, tropical country, 1 degree north of the equator, super humid, super hot, super irradiation. So it's very, very hot and difficult for materials. In Hamburg is the opposite. We have cold winters, we have dark lights in winter. So very different challenges for the material and the system itself. So we want to explore both to see, look, if you have a mirror project in Asia, a mirror project in Hamburg, how does it work? How does it work with people? Do people really like it, yes or no? What do we really get as feedback? How can we improve the system? Those are the questions we are asking ourselves right now, and it comes actually very, very soon. Because what we are doing right now from here, from the new city campus, we are starting our Hamburg project as well. So very happy with MLOVE. and the ConFestival here to really have the opportunity to start from here a first European project for the city of Hamburg as well.